Hello and welcome to MartinMaths. MartinMaths here is learning about the history, including the Cold War. And my guest presenters are going to help me with the task for today. We've been given this sheet with a number of detail about Berlin and names like Khrushchev and Cold War. And we've been asked to create a timeline, which students have beautifully created like that, talking about what was going on, some key dates. But as I'm a math teacher, I don't know about this, so my guest presenters are going to give me some details. Firstly, who's involved?
Okay, so who's involved in the Cold War? There's the West versus the East. The West being USA and the East mainly being Russia. All right. So the leader of the West at the time was Eisenhower. He was the president, and the leader of the East was Khrushchev, which had taken over after Stalin died.
Okay, just make sure I'm spelling it correctly.
It's got a H before the R.
Okay, yeah, so that's the who, and I've put here that it's Berlin, so that was the where. When was this taking place?
About 1958 to 1961, but the actual Berlin movement from west to east started as early as 1959.
Okay, so it's after World War II, but into the Cold War era. And we've said that the where is Berlin, but what was particularly going on at this time?
The idea was that West Berlin was much nicer than East Berlin because the West had funneled, and the USA had funneled lots of money into West Berlin, trying to build up lots of jobs in a way to try and outdo Russia. And because Russia couldn't put in as much money into East Berlin because they didn't have as much money, all the people in East Berlin found and felt like West Berlin was a much nicer place to live. So they all moved from East Berlin to West Berlin, and in that time, up to a sixth of the population of East Berlin moved to West Berlin.
So there was a migration problem, a migration crisis.
And obviously this showed up the East, and they had to try and deal with it. So this ultimately led Khrushchev to build the Berlin Wall on August 12, 1961, and to try and stop everyone from moving to the West Berlin anymore and stop this mass migration.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, lots that I've learned there, and some questions to answer at the end of this task, which was, Khrushchev's Berlin ultimatum. Please comment below if you know more. What actions did Khrushchev take, and why was this particularly clever, and what impact did that have on international relations? I'd be interested to hear more about that. But for now, that's, I think, a good start. It was the Cold War in 1958 to 1961. And there was a migration or refugee crisis that led to the building of the wall. Thanks very much for watching. Could we have that again, please?
Eat, sleep, revise, and repeat.
And then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks all.
Bye!